Hello and welcome back to another episode of Into the 99, where we've got 99 cards, because Commander's number one. I am one of your hosts, Daniel. I'm joined with both Brian and Slothy. Slothy, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Thanks. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing pretty wonderful, minus this heat. This heat is just brutalizing me to the core. I work in a lovely truck, big old zoom truck all day. I got real good AC in there. I step out of the truck, miserable.
Oh, man, I work in a metal box all day.
Rough, miserable too. And Brian, how are you doing?
Apparently enjoying my life a little bit better than you guys. I haven't stepped outside the last couple days until like in the evening. And I was like, oh, my phone only says that it's 26. And I said that to Jen when she came home. And she's like, have you stepped outside? I was like, no. She's like, you won't want to. I'm like, all right.
I'm going to be honest. Like, I got windows open. I got AC going on to crank my house. The bottom level of my house, delightful. But I don't record in the bottom level of my house.
You record in the top of
I record in the top level of my house. And anyone with any kind of science understanding knows that it's warm up here. You know?
Oh, yeah.
I remember when we recorded in your basement, I would always require a sweater.
Yeah, it was nice and cold down there, and I didn't even have the AC going down there. Could you imagine now? Woo.
Yeah, I'd be dying.
Yeah, you wouldn't be a giant fan. This week we have we're kind of doing a two-part thing. So next week is going to be a little related. I won't say what this is, but I've talked about this deck a few times, and that I do this all the time. I like to build illegal commander decks. It's very fun. So
illegal.
If you don't like if you don't like a rule zero conversation with your play group of like, can I play this and stuff, there's multiple other options in this deck that work as a commander. So we'll get to those. Like, it's not an unplayable deck even this way. And even if people say, no, I don't really like your pairing, you're not going to be hurt. You can get to something else and then target them for the whole game. But you know what I mean? I played this game. I built this basically in the hotel room. When we were up at the Command Fest, I went through Brian's set boxes and just I built a pairing of two illegal. They don't have partner, but I'm playing with them with partner commanders. And the long story short is there's a lot of cards in this game that are really, really cool and are just not quite enough. You know, maybe they're a monocolor commander that just doesn't give you that bang for your buck that you need. Or there's just the theme seems half missing, right? Both of these you could play like a whatever kind of deck, you know? But I think together these make a very fun, not overpowered deck, but just a very, very good time general deck. I'm rambling about what they are, but it's Meriadoc Brandybuck. Go ahead.
I'll be honest. I've built the pre-con that this is around, and it is dangerous. I understand how you enjoyed playing it, Slothy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I upgraded a few cards, but it's just been super fun. But the way that how Daniel's built this, you remove an entire color from the original palette.
Yep. Again, you can build this legally, probably stronger. But I think that this makes a very, very unique pairing. They're uncommons. This is especially for how I build, like a phenomenally budget deck. It's like $103 with every exact printing, 91 with no basic lands, and I think is one of the halflings. I think is probably like 1/5 of the deck. You know, you know what I mean. It's just a cool deck. So we have two uncommon halflings. There's a ton of selesnya halflings to pick this with. I just like these pairings because, again, the first is Meriadoc Brandybuck. 1 in the green for a 2/2 halfling citizen, solid stats. Whenever one or more halflings you control attack a player, you create a food. So if I send 3 at Brian, I'm still only getting 1 food, but if I go at Brian and at Slothy, I get my 2 foods, right? So it's pretty fun. And I've paired it with another uncommon halfling, which is Rosie Cotton of South Lane. 2 and 1 white for a 1/1 halfling peasant. Yeah. Exactly. Citizens and peasants rise up. Let's go. I keep saying, by the way, that they're halflings, so I'm following half the rules. So that's what gives them partner. But when Rosie Cotton
to make one.
Yeah, exactly. When Rosie Cotton of South Lane enters the battlefield, you create a food. Whenever you create a token, you put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control other than Rosie. You cannot buff Rosie up with Rosie. The ETB makes foods. I'll probably say treasure a lot in this episode. And then Meriadoc just is another food generator that gives you some counters if you are aggressive with halflings. Like I built an aggro halfling deck. What do you guys want me to say, right? You've got to attack with the halflings for them to do something.
It's absolutely hilarious because I played it on stream yesterday and it was the feasting hobbit.
Like the real food deck?
Yeah, the real food deck.
Yeah.
Sacrifice 10 food to his food devour 3. So I was swinging a 32 halfling around.
This deck has been. If you had told me 6 months ago one of your favorite decks is going to play is going to be a pairing of 2 uncommon commanders that both on their own kind of suck, and you're going to be making food tokens. It's a food themed deck. You know what I mean? They really brought a underplayed mechanic into the limelight, right? It's the 3 life gain is a pretty phenomenal ability. Mm-hmm. And they, again, like I said, there's ways to play this exact list and not have it illegal. I just think it's very, very fun played this way.
And kind of like what you were saying too, they printed so many Selesnya halflings in this set, and nearly all of them have something to do with food.
I think there's 3 in this deck that can be alternative commanders. So you could go with these 2 paired, and if your playgroup doesn't like it, there's still 3 other commander options that don't wildly change the deck. They just they don't make it function how I want it to function. That's all.
For me to get the pairings on Moxfield to allow this, because it's not as cool as Architect in that retrospect, I put Frodo Baggins as the commander to get the colors.
There you go.
So yeah, there's a few different creatures that I was able to pick from, but I don't want to give too much more away.
So before we get into it, if you ever build a deck like this, talk to your playgroup. Just see what you think. Some people might like an uncommon pairing and stuff. Some people might really. I personally loved the background stuff. The use of background is really cool. It's all about being reasonable and stuff, right? No one's going to be like, hey, let me pair my Urza with something like super powerful and crazy that's going to wreck the game for everything, right? I'm going to pair Urza and Derevi together so I can have a Stacks Urza deck to the power of 2 with green, you know? So, you got to be a little reasonable with it. But again, this is very fun. It plays out on curve with a 2 mana, then 3 mana commander. They really, really support each other. It's a very thematic deck, I think. And it's just really, really fun to play.
This pairing, was this the one that we played in Edmonton together where we just kind of killed the other 2 players and
with
just kind of
food,
for like an hour?
Yeah, this is the deck. I got a ton of games off at the Command Fest. I asked everyone, do you mind if I play these illegal pairings? This is what they do. And everyone's like, no, go ahead. It's fine. I told them outright, this is a halfling
Everyone
deck.
regretted it at the end.
It's a halfling deck. It's very fun. Like we'll jump right into our artifacts. They're pretty, again, I built this out of set boosters and just some bulk rares I had with me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, the first is Conjurer's Closet, just so we can get that flicker. There's a few great ETBs in this deck. Mm-hmm. The first one obviously is our commander that makes food tokens, and we're in a food deck. 5 colorless mana at the beginning of your end step. You may exile target creature you control, return it to the battlefield under your control. I love that. It's great. It's a great card.
I didn't even think, wow, like when I was looking at the deck, I didn't even look at or think of Blink with the food, but that's like a great idea. Mm-hmm. I guess I went the opposite direction. I want to make sure I got them back. So with the black being in the food already, or the fellowship in the food, or whatever it's called, I threw like Marin into mine to
be able to replay them.
Try to. Yeah, because I want the same thing that you want. I want to get those abilities off.
I really like that food. Yeah, just again, I love ATB. If there's the chance, if my commander has an ETB, I'm putting a Conjurer's Closet in the deck. I don't know what you want me to say, right?
Yeah,
you do have a thing for ETBs.
Let me tell you, if there was some Howling Minds in my bulk rare box, they'd be in this deck. But
fair.
I'm out of Howling Minds, right? What can I say?
I might have an extra one or two.
There you go. Take it away with our next one here.
We have Inherited Envelope, 3 colorless artifact. When Inherited Envelope enters the battlefield, the ring tempts you. Add 1 mana of any color.
Yeah, just solid
Keep it
ramp.
secret and keep it safe. Gandalf.
Then the next one we've got here is the Mirror of Galadriel. 2 mana for a legendary artifact. You can pay 5 and tap it to scry 1, then draw a card. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each legendary creature you control. This is a very, very good card.
With these halflings, right?
Just kind of in this set in general, but yeah, with the halflings.
Yeah, we've got 2 in the command zone already. So we're, a lot of the time we're going to be pay 3, scry, draw a card in green white. Not a bad card.
Yeah.
But there's so many legendaries in this deck that it really, really actually, it's a very solid early drop.
Yeah, definitely.
We have the File of Galadriel, because again, I was building out of what was there. 3 mana. If you draw a card where you have no cards in hand, draw 2. That's just a great ability on a rock. And if you gain life where you have 5 or less life, you gain twice that much life instead. And tap to add 1 mana of any color. You're playing a food deck, and you're not going to be low on life. Slothy and I were real high on life every time I played this.
Yeah.
I a lot of the time I'm generating the food to generate my 1/1 tokens, like my 1/1 counters. But they're also a lot of life gain. Like they really, really are a lot of life gain.
Especially if you can get the
reduction ones, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got Soul Ring in the deck because, of course,
required.
Yeah. Let's
Commander Law.
we'll hit creatures last because that's the whole theme of the deck, really.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Do you want to go into enchantments?
Yeah, let's hit enchantments. Brian, take us away.
So we start off with Dawn of Hope, 1 and a white. When you gain life, you may pay 2. If you do, draw a card. Pay 3 and a white. Create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink.
I like that little draw engine. It's great. Yeah. Great when you've got extra mana up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially the 1/1 lifelink blockers.
Yeah, they're pretty solid.
That was the 1/1 lifelinker put in a lot of work in the Food and Fellowship deck as well that you could create.
True.
Yeah, for every token that enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white soldier.
Mm-hmm.
White human soldier.
Yeah. But next up, we've got Elven Chorus, 3 and a green. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast creature spells from the top of your library, and creatures you control have tap to add 1 mana of any color.
This is amazing.
That's a really cool card.
Such a good card.
Especially in green. Like you can probably drop that turn 2. Or like turn 3 at the lead, or like all depending upon what you drop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like it a lot. We have an enchantment I started playing a little more as well for our next one, Family's Favor. 2 and a green. Whenever you attack, put a shield counter on target attacking creature. Until end of turn, it gains whenever it deals combat damage to a player. Remove a shield counter from it if you do draw a card. I really like it. Worst case, I get my nice indestructible so I can freely swing my Meriadoc.
Yeah.
Because, again, Rosie's just generating us value when these tokens come in. It's Meriadoc who's swinging. Meridoc's doing the beating.
Mm-hmm.
So having that indestructible, able to swing, because you want to swing it as many players as you can, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're going to swing this one at the player who could possibly kill it. Just make it indestructible, swing away, go to town.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can keep the whatever one that you want to keep safe.
Yeah.
Then we have Fire Traveler, 2 and a white. This is a background. Commander creatures you own have, at the beginning of your end step, exile up to 1 target tapped creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. Good on tap for a blocker. And I think it's a 2/2, never mind.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the other Mary, which is a 1/4.
Yeah.
Then we've got Martyr's Bond, 4 double white. When Martyr's Bond or another non-land permanent you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a permanent that shares a card type with it. I really enjoy this one.
Yeah.
Especially in a food deck.
Do you know how that
to
works,
everyone's
Brian?
artifacts.
Yeah, exactly. Rest in peace. And if you block my halflings, goodbye your creatures.
Yeah.
This is like Grave Pact on steroids, and the fact that it's dropped so aggressively in price just makes me very happy.
Yeah, it's a very solid choice for this deck.
Expensive card.
It used to be. It was 49. Now it's 49.
Oh no, I meant the mana value. Yeah,
that's okay.
I guess we're still in green, but
yeah, you can reach that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had no problem reaching that in any of these games.
That's funny. Next up is Daniel's favorite, Rites of Flourishing, 2 and a green. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws an additional card. Each player may play an additional land on each of his or her turns.
Love it. I love some group hug everywhere.
Right? I was going to say, it wouldn't be a Dan deck with a little bit of group hug.
Exactly right.
Dan the Dragon Man.
Yeah, you guys get it.
Then we've got Shortcut to Mushrooms, 1 and a green. When it enters the battlefield, the ring tempts you. And at the beginning of your end step, if a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control.
Like I said, this deck really, really feeds into what we want to do, right? We've got entering, we're making food. We've got leaving, we're making 1/1 counters, another 1/1 themes. And again, you could put way better stuff in here. You could get some hardened scales. You could get some. You could make this deck pretty cracked, but really fun, like $100 deck.
Yeah, and I think the fact that most of the cards came from
the Lord of the Rings
one set is really cool. I really enjoy that.
We've got Sigil of the New Dawn as well, 3 and a white. Whenever a creature is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay 1 and a white. If you do, return it to your hand. So great to get these low value halflings back into your hand and continue playing them and not losing them. A lot of times, 2 mana is not going to break you in a white deck or in a red deck. Oh, the color is wrong. Green, the one in between those things. You know, it's one of them. It's one of the 5. We got there eventually.
I haven't seen this card before.
Oh,
but
so good.
I need to pick it up now. That's fantastic because I want my halflings back. Like that's where I get my food tokens from.
Yeah. It's just nice. It's a nice solid enchantment for when people are trying to kill your things. And Brian always has people trying to kill his things.
Right? Like it's nonstop.
I'll take this last one too because I also really like this one. It's one of the sagas. It's War of the Last Alliance, 3 and a white. It's the first 2 are search your library for a legendary creature, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle. That's so good that is really good. Lot of decks is really good. But again, I'm just going to fetch out halflings. It's fun.
I don't think I saw this card, Dan.
Yeah. And then the last one is creatures you control gain double strike until end of turn. The ring tempts you. Absolutely cracking people with a Gilded Goose.
The goose is on the loose.
I saw this.
The goose was on the loose, yeah. Again, this is just such a great budget card, 49 cents. What a banger.
Yeah, definitely.
You probably cracked a bunch of them as just like random bulk sitting there, Brian.
Yeah. I'll have to go through because I don't remember glancing this card here.
It's a good one.
It is a good one.
Oh, by the way, Slothy's about to lose his mind seeing more than one instant and more than one sorcery.
We jump it up to one of these? Holy moly. The instance.
Yeah, let's hit instance, yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
It's almost like it's not my deck, right?
I'll let you get this one because it's your boy.
Slothy, that's you.
Oh, me? Okay. We got
Dan's boy.
I wasn't sure.
I haven't read all the books in the last week of the episodes, I promise.
We got Bombadil's Song, 1 and a green. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains hexproof until end of turn. The ring tempts you.
Love it.
I held on to this card. I'm like an idiot. I held on to this card and they're like, okay, I swing. I was like, and I block and I cast this. And they're like, okay, you have hexproof. I was like, crap, I thought it was the heroic intervention.
Yeah. Quite a different card there, Brian.
Yeah. I felt so dumb. Next up here, we do have Cloud Shift. 1 white. Exile target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under your control.
We do a little blinking. We do a little.
Always blinking.
A little bit of blinking.
I really like this new one as well, this Entish Restoration. 2 and a green. Sack a land, search your library for up to 2 basic lands, put them onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, instead search for 3 basic lands onto the battlefield, tapped and shuffle. And again, we got 1/1 counter generation. So a lot of times we're going to be able to hit that threshold pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I know Jesse has been asking me for these, and I was like, "This is just
The Entish,
too good." Yeah.
they're good.
The next card that we have here is Escape from Orthane. Was that a C? Orthak. 1 white instant. Target creature gets +1/+3 until and gains flying until end of turn. Untap it.
Absolute game ender with your commander being able to get so big so fast.
Yeah.
It's if you just continuously go like a Voltron route and pump Meriadoc with Rosie's ability, you can just really crush people, crush skulls with this card.
Or the Goose.
Or the Goose. The Goose already has flying. It already has the evasion.
The only thing that does hurt is when you play against flying, because you don't have a lot of creatures that can get to that.
Yeah. Like I said, I just like this as a potential game ender.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to blitz people with your commander damage halflings.
Oh, it was so much fun there the other day. So I can totally understand how much fun you guys were having.
You're one of us now.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Fertilid's Favor, 3 and a green. Target player searches their library for basic land card, puts them on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle, and put 2 +1/+1 counters on up to 1 target artifact or creature.
I'm in love with it. I've been putting this in every deck. I got this. They stopped me from buying all of them at my game store. They only let me like purchase a certain number. They cut me off. But this is everything I like in a deck because number one, we get ramp, we get counters, and we want both those things in this deck. In any deck that just wants ramp, it's great. I like to fix the game for people, though. Sometimes people are just having a terrible game, and it's kind of nice to be able to politics and be like, listen, I know you're stalled out on lands. Let me go get you that land. You leave my stuff alone.
Yep.
It's a nice, like, fix the night card as well, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We do a little group hugging every now and then.
You salt somebody, and then here, I'll let you go and fetch a land.
I think this deck has the lowest salt score I've ever built. I think it's like a 17 salt score. Who could be upset with it?
17.23.
There's nothing
Who
hot.
could be upset at halflings?
Yeah, right? I just really, really like this card a lot. It's just very fun to play.
Mm-hmm.
The next card here we do have is Hobbit Sting, 1 and a white, instant. Hobbit Sting deals X damage to target creature, where X is the number of creatures you control, plus the number of foods you control.
Yeah.
That's rough, by the way.
Incredible card.
Yeah. Coming to play with that card. Bam. I like it.
I think I had 14 food yesterday. So, like this plus my halflings, that would have been a lot of damage.
The next one we have, I also really like playing a lot. It's humble and it's super fun to cast. It's 1 and a white. Until end of turn, target creature loses all abilities and has base power and toughness 0/1. I play with a bunch of degenerates. I see a lot of people coming at me with a Blightsteel Colossus. I see a lot of ninjutsu Blightsteel Colossus shenanigans in my play group. Not today. Not when I have 2 mana up in my halfling deck. Nuh-uh. You know what I mean? Can you imagine just your best creature? You're trying to crack me with just something crazy, and I just humble it. Becomes a 0/1. It loses all its abilities, and it just dies to Rosie. Rosie crushes your biggest commander.
I've seen your brothers in our games get humbled.
Humble's a great card. Good interaction.
So funny.
Next up, we've got Lost to Legend, double white for put target non-land historic permanent from its owner's library or into its owner's library, 4th from the top.
That's real good.
Yeah, you're not removing sagas with this. It's problem artifacts or legendaries. Again, I play with degenerate monsters who sit there and fill the deck with time sifters and knowledge pools. They're animals. They're all animals.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's good to get rid of those things. It's just a very funny 2 mana bye-bye commander card.
Yep.
Yeah.
The next card here is Pippin's Bravery. I enjoy this with the troll in the back. 1 green. You may sacrifice a food. If you do, target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. Otherwise, that creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn.
Solid. +4/+4.
Yeah.
Again, really good to swing in and get that commander damage off.
Because you really want Mary to be attacking. You always want that food creation.
Well, yeah, exactly. You want to make sure that you're not missing out on making any of those foods. You want to aggro as much as you can. And it's funny to hit people with big hobbits, to be honest. It's really funny to have somebody like try and I'm like, I'll swing this 1/1 hobbit at you, and they're like, I'll block it. I'm like, Pippin's bravery, it dies. Your creature dies. It's dead.
Pippin steps all over it.
Yeah, it's dead. You died to a halfling card. Put it in the grave. Slothy, you want this one?
Sure. Next up, we've got Razor Barrier, 1 and a white. Target permanent you control gains protection from artifacts or from the color of your choice until end of turn.
Yeah.
How nimble that cat is.
We protect our homelands. Why should they not protect us?
All right. Then we have Reprieve, 1 and a white. Return target spell to its owner's hand. Draw a card.
It's pretty good. I was just double checking this before I say it, but yes, really quickly before that is a great card. Reprieve, wonderful. Razor Barrier strips people's equipments off if you give their commander protection from artifacts.
Oh,
which is hilarious.
The unfortunate thing is it has to be something you control.
Oh, it is you control. All right. Okay, yeah. That's why I was like, do I use it this way? I don't think I do, but I did look. Right, you could strip your own things off. Somebody tries to the creeping corrosion, whatever card where you get all of them, take them off. Easy peasy. Don't listen to my advice, but protection does remove the things that way. Next, we have Second Breakfast, 2 and a white. Up to 2 target creatures each get +2/+1 and create a food token. That's so good. Such a good 3 mana instant. Again, we're just crushing people with halflings. We're generating a token, so our commander is going to give us more value.
They should have taken all the halflings to Isengard and to Mordor. They would have won the war for sure.
Right? These halflings, yeah. They should have given these ones the rings. Movies would have been over in 15 minutes.
So much walking.
Yeah. by the way, again, let me at the end of I'll ask again at the end of the episode, but let me know if you like this pairing because I really like it and it's very fun. So let me know at the end.
Next one we've got here is Semester's End, 3 and a white. Exile any number of target creatures and/or planeswalkers you control. At the beginning of the next end step, return each of them to the battlefield under its owner's control. Each of them enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it if it's a creature, and an additional loyalty counter if it's a planeswalker.
That's exactly what Daniel wants to do.
I love it. I love Blink. We got our Blink. We got our 1/1 counters. I don't bring dice when I play these things. Brian found that out as well at the event. It was wild that I wasn't bringing any dice to play my 1/1 counter themed deck.
Yeah, well, I was like, I got you looked after. Plus, there was dice at the event.
That's true. I could have run to a vendor. We also have a Shelter, 1 and a white. Target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice on the turn. Again, great for swinging these weak halflings and draw a card.
I actually, do you know what? You've put in a lot of cards that I think I need to add into other decks because I don't have the card draw. But basically, on some of these, it's just stapled in there. Draw card.
Yeah, just
and I think
to an effect you'd already run, right? Already that protection.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next card that we have here, Shower of Arrows. 2 and a green. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. Scry 1. Yeah, what are you doing with this removal and stuff in your deck?
Yeah, my halfling deck has my best removal suite yet.
I don't believe that you built this even though you did it in front of me.
Yeah.
Then we've got Slip on the Ring, 1 and a white. Exile target creature you own, then return to the battlefield under your control, and the ring tempts you.
First off, phenomenal card. We blink, it's great. Ring tempts us, that's great. But it's exile target creature you own, not control. So if someone takes one of your creatures, you can blink it and bring it back to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. You still always own your cards. Yeah.
Blink decks now.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Said I need to add this into all of my Blink decks now.
We were playing with, it was really funny. One of the cosplay games we played was Zebex and Arrow's cosplay. And she was playing a Rubinia deck, which is a steal people's creature deck kind of thing. That's what Rubinia does.
Yeah.
And the turn it came out, I stole Rubinia.
I remember that, yeah.
That was good, clean fun for everyone. I, myself and Slothy thought it was very funny.
Yeah. Her, not so much, but...
I don't think she enjoyed it that much. Fun game. That one will be up eventually, too. Oh, I have to take the next card, too, because it's one of the most ridiculous artworks I've ever seen in Magic. We've got Stu the Conies, 2 and green. Target creature controls deal damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. Create a food token. And it's just Gollum getting bashed in the head with a frying pan.
The trusty frying pan.
Right?
Boil
like
them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
Yeah, it's just a wild thing that you would do. And again, it's so funny to have your big creature get just steamrolled by a Stu the Conies. You know what I mean? Like, you go to do something, I'm like, Stu the Conies, Meriadoc kills your commander.
Very angry.
Yeah, your Godo dies before you can equip it. It's dead. Right? It's just so silly. Yeah, I'll attach on the host this. Yeah, you wish, not in this house.
Yeah.
Stu the Conies, bad boys.
I kill it before anything.
Yeah, right? And I'll take the last one, too. It's the canonically correct phrasing of "you cannot pass."
Yep.
No. Yeah, I don't know why
you didn't act it out. I don't like it.
Well, do you want me to yell "you cannot pass"?
Yes.
As if I've never seen this. You shall not pass.
I don't care.
As it's written, it's actually quite calm.
Even I know that.
Mm-mm.
But anyways, yes, it's 1, destroy target creature that blocked or is blocked by a legendary creature this turn. This card is phenomenally annoying. Somebody, again, it's very fun to block with Rosie. You block with something obviously much bigger and get it blown off the board with this anti-Balrog card. I know enough to know it's an anti-Balrog card. I know an anti-Balrog card when I see one.
Right? He's not on the other side of the art.
It's, again, I think it's just a really, really good piece of I want to swing my commander.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I've got way more instants and way more sorceries than I normally have in this deck.
I'm surprised that you have 18.
Yeah, right? Slothy, you want to start us off on these sorceries here?
Absolutely. We've got Citywide Bust, 1 double white, destroy all creatures with toughness 4 or greater.
Love it.
Art's fantastic.
It is really cool.
Yep.
We then have a Cultivate, 2 and a green. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards and put them onto the battlefield tapped. And the other into your hand, then shuffle your library.
Yeah. Never hurts. We get there.
Yeah.
We have a Divine Gambit because I like to roll the dice. Double white for a sorcery. You exile target artifact, creature, or an enchantment opponent controls. They can put a permanent from their hand onto the battlefield. By Avacyn.
Yep.
I also really like there are rules and then there are gods. It's cool flavor text. It's great. Great exile for everything. Except Planeswalker, but...
I think I've run it once or twice, but I've gotten burned by it.
I like it. Again, if something's annoying to me, I generally don't care if they put something else down.
Yep.
Yeah. Next one we've got here is Explosive Vegetation, 3 in the green. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle.
I don't have enough of these. I think I only have 2. I definitely need more.
Never hurts.
Yep. To continue on with the ramp, we got Farseek, 1 out of green. Search your library for a plains, island, swamp, or mountain card, and put it onto the battlefield tapped. Then shuffle your library.
Yep. Sorry, had myself on mute there. We also have many partings. 1 green. Search your library for a basic land, reveal it, put it in your hand, create a food. I love it. This is a great card.
The ramp, right?
It is good ramp. Good clean ramp for everyone. Technically, this is making me a 1/1 counter. This is gaining me 3 life later on. We're ramping. Don't worry.
It's fun.
Then we've got Revive the Shire, 1 and a green. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Create a food token.
Solid and beautiful art. I would have bought a playmat with this art for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
I love this card.
Yeah, it's it looks just phenomenal, and it's a great ability.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I have it in my other deck there too, and I think I need more because there's a few decks where I want to keep constantly getting certain creatures back because they're just thematically important.
Yeah, right.
Fair.
That's like I said. I think this deck is pretty good on theme. It's pretty good at doing what I want it to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you're gonna complain if you get a food token in another deck because gaining 3 life is still 3 life.
To be honest, I never use it. Every time I've had an Academy Manufacturer out or anything like that, never use the food tokens for anything other than to sack an artifact, ping people with damage kind of thing, like in Jaheira.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know?
Interesting.
Yeah. It's I've never used them how they should be. They're great. 3 life is wicked.
Sure is.
Really powerful life gain.
I'm contemplating taking apart my Ellis deck and taking some of the life gain pinging abilities out of it to put into the food and fellowship.
Fun. Again, that's possibly one of the better precons I've ever seen. It's really well built. I have the elf one as well. The elf one is not as well built. It needs something. The elf one's got to get edited, and I haven't really looked through the other two yet. I know you tore one apart for the Aragorn.
Well, it was the Riders of Rohan, so it was red, blue, white.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted the green.
That's not really colors I play very often, anyways, right?
But the humans that were in the deck were outstanding.
Oh yeah, I think these were some very well built ones, but the food one just stands above the others as just crazy. It's just a nuts one.
It's probably the one that I've heard the most about on social media.
I'm dying of heat, by the way. It's the worst.
It's getting hot in here too.
Oh
Yeah, I feel you.
It's crazy here. We're all just sitting here pretending that we're not seeing it. For anyone watching the videos, I'm having a stroke over here. We got Secret Rendezvous as well. Like I said, I live the group hug life. If I'm gonna play something illegal and I'm gonna make my new friends by saying let me do that, you gotta be a little fun too, right? And I just like this card. It's 1 triple white or 1 double white. Sorry. You and target opponent each draw 3 cards. That's great politics. It's great talk to the table. A deck like this makes you talk to the table. You gotta, you know what I mean? Sometimes the talk is I'm going to hit you with this halfling. It's 30-30, but that's still talking to the table. You're still making friends.
The other 2 people.
Yeah, exactly.
Another one that Daniel loves to run here is Tempt with Discovery, 3 and a green. Tempting offer. Search your library for a land card and put it onto the battlefield. And so that's not tapped, which is fantastic. Each opponent may search his or her library for a land card and put it into play, or put it onto the battlefield. For each opponent who searches a library this way, search your library for a land card and put it onto the battlefield. Then each player who searched a library this way shuffles.
I say it every time. I already just tell people I'm getting the one land I'm going for anyways. It's already happening. You guys are only hurting yourself not taking the land, you know?
Exactly.
This deck even, I've got an exotic orchard, a fortified village, and a Shire terrace. You know what I mean? What are you stopping me from? What do you think that I'm getting? A rogue's passage in here would be great, like as an addition. Again, I built this in a hotel room in 30 minutes before we went to an event.
I'll tell you, Rogue's Passage, 100%. Slothy probably knows too.
Yeah.
Got to go a little silly.
Unblockable goose.
Yes.
You want to take this last one here, Slothy?
Sure. For the final sorcery, we've got the Battle of Bywater. 1 double white. To destroy all creature with power 3 or greater, then create a food token for each creature you control.
That's really good. I completely read over this. Like when I was opening up boxes and I just read the name, like Battle of Bywater, I was like, this name is foolish to me. But then I went back and I read the actual text of the card and I was like, this is fantastic.
That's a lot of treasure token generation. Not treasure. See, I told you I'd say it. Food token generation. But read me the flavor text here if you don't mind.
The Tooks marched in with Pippin at their head. Mary now had enough sturdy hobbitry to deal with the ruffians.
Sturdy hobbitry is quite the secondary name for this deck.
That is incredible.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's yeah, and now let's get into the creatures. It'd be so funny if we got to the creatures and it was just like it's just a beast deck, just not a single halfling in the entire deck.
We talk about it, but then there's nothing.
There's just one creature and it's a gilded goose.
I'm just like, hey, like it really synergizes with itself. It's just like Land of War Elves, Priest of Titania. It's just a full elf deck. I've rule zeroed them all to halflings. Let's go.
We let him do this, guys.
Yeah, so sorry. We do start our list off with something that is not a halfling, but we get there. 3 and a green. It's Accomplished Alchemist 2/5. Tap to add 1 mana of any color, or tap add X mana of any one color, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn. So good in a life gain deck.
Absolutely, yeah.
So good, especially when you can. Yeah, when you can throw away your foods. Huh? Yeah. Strixhaven is really good for green life gain.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Witherbloom was just kind of like a fun, like, college.
Yeah, I loved what Strixhaven did with like the color shifting archetypes. I loved it. It brought a lot of new stuff to the game.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. We're seeing more of it as time goes on too, and people are finding ways of using those cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next creature that we have here is Angel of Destiny, 3 and 2 white. Angel Cleric, flying, double strike. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you and that player each gain that much life. At the beginning of your end step, if you have at least 15 life more than your starting life total, each player Angel of Destiny attacked this turn loses the game. 2/6.
So easy to trigger that ability.
100%.
It's
At the beginning, most people accept the life or the damage.
well, it's just the fact that it's end step, right? It's if this gets a swing off, it's game over.
And kind of like you were mentioning earlier, when you and I were playing both of our life gain decks.
Yeah, the life totals were getting out of control. The only way to kill one was going to be to mill or commander damage them.
Absolutely. And this card would just absolutely have hosed either of us.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize the last is just attack.
Yeah, you don't even have to hit them. It doesn't have to damage them. It doesn't have to bring their life down. You just have to attack them.
I thought it was combat damage because the first paragraph said it, but now I'm reading the second part, and you're right.
Yeah, you just got to. You have a flying blocker. That's fine, as long as it doesn't kill Angel of Destiny. Good luck.
Amazing.
And it's a double striker that makes all your things gain life. It's pretty good.
The next one here is canonically one of the best creatures in all of Magic, and one of the best creatures, if not the best creature, in Lord of the Rings. We have Build the Pony.
Mm-hmm.
3 and a white for a 1/4 legendary horse. When he enters the battlefield, create 2 food tokens, and you can sacrifice a food until end of turn. Target creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power.
Let's break Build the Pony down a little bit. Our commander gives us 1/1 counters whenever we make tokens. Build the Pony makes 2 tokens, meaning Build the Pony is entering as a 3/6, and
Big pony.
and can swing for 6. And we can buff Build the Pony. The fact that you can, in this deck, absolutely crush someone, just wipe them off the field, just Build the Pony. It's like they got no creatures. You say, all right, well, I'm gonna kill you with Build the Pony. It's disrespectful. It's a flex on unlike any other. There's a few creatures in the deck. We've mentioned the goose. I like to crack people with this goose. Pretty good to suit the goose up. But again, dying to a 30/30 Build a Pony is really funny.
Yeah.
Or it'd be a 30/34.
Yeah, whatever, Build a Pony. Right? Build a Clydesdale is coming through. We have another card in this deck that just can't stay on the battlefield. Blossoming Bog Beast. 4 and a green for a 3/3 beast. Whenever Blossoming Bog Beast attacks, you gain 2 life. Great for their theme. Then creatures you control get trample and XX until end of turn, where X the amount of life you gain this turn. This can't stay on the field. This can't stay around.
I move to combats, and then I sacrifice all my foods.
Yeah, it's a very, very powerful attack trigger. Even just the +2/+2 is really good, but the fact that you've got gain 3 life just locked and loaded in this deck, you can't leave it alone.
Well, it's gain 3 lifetimes, whatever you're sitting on.
Well, it's you know what I mean. It's especially if you switch over to one of the other commanders. One of the other commander options in the deck is the food token reduction, and the same thing. So you're paying one mana to crack it open. So you pay 5 to gain 15 life, and then your creatures are +17/+17 on swing. It's phenomenal.
The next one here we have is Brandywine Farmer, 2 and a green, halfling peasant. When Brandywine Farmer enters or leaves the battlefield, create a food token.
Brandywine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But no, it's again also really cool artwork. We've got our first of our halfling peasants going here that's in the actual deck.
We weren't just joking.
Yeah, I just really, really like the halfling peasant, and like a lot of these are not great cards. The next one, great card. Slothy, please take the next one. The next one's possibly one of the better cards ever printed.
Yeah, this is easily my favorite card from this set. It is Delighted Halfling. Single green for a 1/2 halfling citizen. You can tap for colorless, or you can tap to add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a legendary spell, and that spell cannot be countered.
Possibly one of the best mana dorks they've ever made.
100%.
It's right up there with just with the best of them. You know what I mean? What's the
Can't be countered is amazing.
Can't be countered is great. Bloom Tender's another just like phenomenal mana dork. But there's no downside to running this, right? In a worst case, you're just getting a Llanowar with a better like back end that's giving you colorless instead, right? So already phenomenal. But that can't counter legendary spells is rough. It can't be undersold. How, especially in the format we play, where again in this I've got 2 legendary creatures in the command zone. You know what I mean? Where that's bad. Having your commander countered sets you really back, and not today.
Yep. It really sucks.
I got to take the next one too. Absolute bomb card in this deck. We've got East Farthing Farmer, 2 and a white for a 2/3 halfling peasant. Good stats, good cost. When East Farthing Farmer enters the battlefield, you create a food token. It's doing what we want. It's doing the Lord's work in this deck. But when you do, target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each food you control. Again, this is a card that can end the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got the ability to dump this in. We cloud shift it in, and I've got 15. Now I've got a +30/+30 Gilded Goose. You know? What are you going to do about that? There's Gilded Goose in this deck list, guys. I'm going to give you spoilers right now. Let me know it's in
no
here.
Gilded Goose.
Gilded Goose is in my imagination. Right?
Instead of counting sheep, you count gilded geese.
But yeah, this is quite the ability.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if I have this in my deck. I might have to go back and double check.
You get so many foods that they just sit there.
Yep.
And then, like I said, you can really, really hit someone with that. It can take your board from not very good to overwhelming threat. Again, you drop this in, you crush people down with that massive Bill the Pony.
Yeah.
Right? Poor Bill feeling picked on here. Even though we're saying he's going to be the big guy.
Bill's the best.
Yeah, he is the best. The next one here is Eleanor Gardner, 3 and a green, halfling scout. When Eleanor Gardner enters the battlefield, create a food token. At the beginning of your end step, if you sacrifice a food this turn, you may search your library for a basic land card, put that card onto the battlefield, tapped, then shuffle.
That's really good.
Now our foods find us land.
Yeah, that's really good.
Next one we've got up is Feasting Troll King, 2 and 4 green for a 7/6 Troll Noble with Vigilance and Trample. When Feasting Troll King enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, create 3 food tokens, and sacrifice 3 food tokens to return them from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only during your turn.
Interesting.
It's kind of nice that we can drop this from our hand as a late game bomb, like a 10-9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know,
Also makes three food.
that's what I mean, right? It makes 3 food. It triggers our commander option. We put 3 counters on this, and then I've got a 10-9 vigilance trample monster that I can just keep bringing back. It's a pretty good card. It's good late. It's good early. Survives sweeps.
Yep. Do you want one of us to take this one, and then you'll take the next one there, Dan?
Sure. All right. Oh, there's 2 more in between. Oh no, sorry, Brian. Let me take this one because you have this as the commander. Frodo Baggins,
yes.
1 and a white, 1/3 halfling scout, another halfling. When Frodo or another legendary creature enters under your control, the ring tempts you, which is great. We've got lots of legends in here. As long as Frodo's your ring bearer, it must be blocked if able. Kind of cool.
Yeah.
At least we'd let everything else get through.
Yeah. All right, Slothy. Now you take this next one, and I'll take the one after.
Sure. We've got Galadriel, Gift Giver, 3 double green for a 4/4 legendary elf noble. Whenever Galadriel, Gift Giver enters the battlefield or attacks, choose 1. You can put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature, create a food token, or create a treasure token.
This is very, very on theme for what we want. We've got lots of blink to bring it in and out. It's doing the attacks of, our counters, our food. It gives us a little ramp if we need it. I like it.
4/4's a nice body too.
Yep. Pretty solid. All right, the next one. Obviously, we have Gilded Goose. One of my favorite cards to drop in Magic. I love this card. Gilded Goose is a 1 green flying bird, 0/2. When the goose enters, you create a food token. It has pay 1 and a green, tap it, create a food token. Again, we're happy there. And tap sack of food, add 1 mana of any color. I love that ramp ability. It's pretty great. It's a pretty decent body as well for an early blocker. But yeah, I love this. Is a great early turn 1 drop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realize how good it was until I started getting slaughtered.
Till you start,
By the
yeah,
goose.
till you exactly till you honked in the wrong direction.
This next one, I was absolutely shocked when I actually read it. Is Gilrain, Dundian Protector, 2 and a white, human noble, pay 2, tap it, exile another target creature you control. You may return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. If you don't, at the beginning of the next end step, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control with a vigilance counter and a lifelink counter, and it's a 2/3.
So good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Just got to give it the ability to untap and tap again.
Right? We have as well another secret commander in the deck. Because if people don't like it, we do have a background in this deck. If you guys remember,
Yep.
we have Far Traveler, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can have this be our commander for the next one. And it's Halcyon Emerald Archdruid. 3 and a green for a 2/4 elf druid. Pay 1. Until end of turn, target token you control becomes a green bear creature with base power and toughness 4/4, in addition to its other colors and types. Another, again, like I said, we have many options for commanders in this deck if people don't like our illegal pairing.
Of course you did, Dan.
And if you
Bears.
leave the food out, the bears come. The bears are coming, right? And again, it's really, really fun. So many things in this deck create food. So even if we don't have our other silly things out, right? It's pretty cool that we can
That's funny.
that we could just like turn this into a food bear deck, right? I've always loved Halcyon. Slothy made a Halcyon one with the Inspired Leader, and that's another great background in here.
I did not make Halcyon. There is one coming up though that I did do that I would like to take if that's okay.
Oh no, it's yes. It was okay. Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, Brian, you take Honor Troll, please.
Will do. So we got Honor Troll, 2 and a green, Troll Druid, Vigilance. If you would gain life, you gain that much life, +1 instead. Honor Troll gets +2/+1 as long as you have 25 or more life, and it is a 2/3.
Yeah, 4/4 for 3 with extra life gain. Solid.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Slothy, please.
Yeah. This is the one that I built and is still one of my favorite commanders that came out last year. Jaheira, Friend of the Forest. 2 and a green for a 2/3 legendary human elf druid. Tokens you control have tap to add green and choose a background.
which you could also still run as a commander. A lot of commander options in this deck.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, yeah.
I think having Jaheira with I think Jaheira would be a fun commander in this one.
Well, yeah, because again,
It
you've got
would,
so many
actually.
food tokens that you can ramp really, really hard, right? And who's
exactly.
gonna see my mega food ramp? The food is fueling us.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's so cool.
Yeah, I really, really, like I said, I'm in love with the background cards, and I wanted this deck to be, I didn't want it to be a feel bad if anyone didn't want to play my illegal pairing. Everyone so far has seemed to not have a problem with it, but I wanted to be able to, without having to retool the whole deck, just be like, oh, no problem, let me grab another commander, right? And it's very fun to also just play the deck out with different things, right? Like if you play with Halcyon, you're gonna have a very, very different experience than playing with Rosie and that, but we're making so many foods that's not gonna matter. We got a lot of food generation here. We got a lot of bears. That's a lot of 4/4 bears coming at you.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Right? Oh, yeah. Also wouldn't be my deck if I didn't keep group hugging. We've got Keeper of Progenitus, 3 and a green for a 1/3 elf druid. Whenever a player taps a mountain, forest, plains for mana, that player adds 1 mana of that type to his or her pool. Again, just solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the group hug aspect. Actually, I think this card was the only thing that allowed me to actually be able to play stuff, because I like the first 2 games or 3 games that day. I only had 2 lands the entire time.
The cards just weren't with you.
Yep. No.
Right?
The next card we have is Sam Loyal Attendant, right? Yeah, Meriadoc Rosie. Yeah, Sam. Sam Loyal Attendant, 1 green and a white. Halfling peasant partners with Frodo Adventurous Hobbit. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, create a food token. Activated abilities of foods you control cost 1 less to activate.
Another really cool alternate commander. If you want to go the more life gainy route with this one, it's paying 1 to gain 3 life is wicked.
Absolutely.
I definitely have him in the deck to allow for that, because paying 1 is so much better than paying 3.
Right.
And we got a little bit of a doppelganger here. We got Samwise Gamgee, green and a white for a 2/2 legendary halfling peasant. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, create a food token, and you can sacrifice 3 foods to return target historic card from your graveyard to your hand.
Another just very cool commander option. It's still, again, we got our ETB that we're looking for to get it. Our hobbits are still going to be creating hobbits, halflings, whatever they are. They're still going to be creating our food tokens. It's really cool to be able to return our legendary ones, like our big ones, back to our hand.
Yep. The important ones.
Yeah, I like it. We also have Samwise the Stoutheart, 1 and white. Halfling peasant, 2/1 with flash. When Samwise the Stoutheart enters, choose up to 1 target permanent in your graveyard that's put there from the battlefield this turn. Return it to your hand, then the ring tempts you. Again, a great bring things back card.
This card in foil is amazing.
Yeah, it's very nice artwork.
We then have Shire Sheriff. 1 and a white. Vigilant, or halfling soldier. Vigilance. When Shire Sheriff enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a token. When you do, exile target creature an opponent controls until Shire Sheriff leaves the battlefield, and it's a 2/2.
Yeah.
Having played this card at the event, it puts a massive target on you.
That's funny. It's funny
And
to get your things exiled for the Shire Sheriff.
Yep.
For 1 food.
Right?
This card puts in work.
This next one, Slothy?
Sure. Next up, we've got Tireless Provisioner, 2 and a green for a 3/2 elf scout with landfall. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, create a food or a treasure token.
Great ramp, but it's doing what we want. We want food.
Yeah.
Right? We get what we want.
Even if you need like that additional 1 mana or something like that. If you're
exactly.
Drop
a great
something.
early one, while you're doing it to get your stuff out, but it's also just cool to make food. Extra food tokens never going to hurt. And then we have our final creature of the list is definitely not a halfling. It's Welcoming Vampire. It's 2 and a white for a 2/3 vampire flying. Whenever 1 or more other creatures with power 2 or less enter in your control, draw a card. It triggers only once each turn. That's just really, really good. We've got a lot of cards that blink at end step, like our Conjurer's Closet, like our if we're playing with the background as the commander pairing, switching it up a little bit. Again, we've got more than enough cool things that are going to re-trigger this ability. And yeah, it's just pretty solid extra card draw for most of our things are going to be pretty low under it, like our Shire Sheriff entering, giving us that, the Samwise, the Sam. We got a few Sams.
Seems like we need a Mother of Machines thrown in here to double up those triggers.
Mother of Machines could be a cool one in it if you went the more ETB route and everything. Like I said, I thought this was fairly balanced. I really like how easily you can switch this deck in and out and have it be something different. Yeah, like there's very many different ways to play this deck. You can get a lot of mileage out of this list. I personally find, at least I built it, so I'm a little biased.
That's fair.
But
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, like it's just like in its illegal version, super fun. I could see the Halcyon route being just a blast. No one's gonna see your bear deck coming with food, right?
Yeah.
These are my honey pots.
And again, Jaheira's insane ramp, Sam's token generation at the start. It's really nice to be able to get a fresh take on a deck with so many different options, right? Like I think there's 6 or 7 different ways to play this deck, and that's what I find the most fun about it. But I just think that these two have an ability that just works so cool together. It's such a, I understand that maybe it's not they can't just give everything partner, right? Like it's partner with they got a play test around. It's a lot of things to do, but I can give a partner with if I'm nice enough to my play group. So
if you did go like the route of like the pre-con, there is the new, I think it's the new Pippin, which is a black and a green, and it's whenever a food enters the battlefield, also create a 1/1 human soldier with lifelink.
oh yeah, you can build this deck better and legally, but this is fun.
Yeah.
No, I'm not bashing it or anything. I'm just saying that for like the food, like there's just so many options in the set to go with. So like this one, I really liked how they paired, because you attack, you get the food, then she triggers. Yeah, you got big and dangerous real quick with halflings, which is I found it funny.
Yeah, it's like I said, I found it a really, really fun deck. I'd love to see what other people would want to put into it. Like how they would play it. Maybe legal commanders, that could be a thing that other people would build it with. But like, yeah, it's like I said, I think it's just really, really fun to play this weird food themed deck. We'll wrap up right around there and stuff. But I just think it's a very, very fun deck to play, and I think that people should talk to their play group and play things. There's, like I said, I'm sure all of us have seen a card and they're like, this would be a great commander if. Like there's so many things that I would build this if it did this, right? For Brian, the Riders of Rohan deck, if that had some green in it somewhere, you probably would have played it that way. Yeah. Right. And I'm obviously like, I'm not advocating for people to go out and like break the game with their things, but if you have like a fun idea, try it with your play group and stuff. Always, if you're going to build what I would call an illegal commander deck, have a backup. Have a backup card for it. But
rule 0 is important. Have those conversations.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and again, if people say no, I wouldn't want to play it that way and stuff. But I think I built it fair. I think it's a fair deck.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's not overwhelming. It's a halfling deck. And again, if people don't want to play it, there's different ways to play the deck. You don't have to say yes. I won't hold a grudge. Bears. The bears that I play they'll hold a grudge for sure. They're different. I can't control them. I don't own the bears.
The bears.
I don't speak for them. Right? They are me. No, but yeah, that's where I'll wrap. Tell me, there we go. There's my button. Tell me what you guys would have put in a deck like this. Would you play against this? I'd love to hear, especially in the YouTube and stuff. Would you let me play this? Would you play against someone who paired these two together? What would you put in a list like this? What did you like from this set, really? Just I just like to hear what people's thoughts on things are. if you like our content, all of it can be found at into99.com. Brian is doing some streaming stuff that's going to be up and going soon. So those Patreon streams I was talking about are there. And yes, again, speaking of ways to support us, Patreon's a great way. If you're not interested in checking out Patreon, we always really appreciate people liking and subscribing and sharing. That's always wonderful. It helps people get to know us, see the silly builds we make and stuff like that. And it's just fun. It lets us talk more about Magic, right? The more people pay attention, the more we want to do it. So yeah, it's nice. I wanted to say thanks for everyone who gets to the end of the episode and listening. And yeah, it's always fun to build decks. And I really do want to know what people would do with this deck.
Oops.
Yeah. And that's where I wrap. You guys have anything to say?
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Have a good one.
See ya.
Bye.